The #1 Valorant player in the EU was banned for cheating, but says he's just being bullied. Plus, Overwatch 2 isn't coming in 2021, and can Overwatch and the Overwatch League survive another year without the new game? And Activision sued for ripping off a Warzone Operator design, down to even hiring the same hairstylist to make her look exactly the same. All that and more next on The Breakdown. Riot bans #1 Valorant player in Europe for cheating. Riot Games have banned Valorant pro Nisay after he was found cheating in ranked matches. Turkish club Beşiktaş Esports have dropped the former #1 ranked EU player in light of the one-year ban. What's crazy though is compared to other esports and even previous infractions by some current Valorant players when they were playing Counter-Strike, 12 months seems fairly light when you dig into the reasonings for the bannings. At one time, Nisay was top of the European leaderboards, making this a shocking ban on its face alone. The news was announced by Riot Turkey in a tweet that, when translated, said that Nisay had been detected using cheats by the fraud protection team of Riot, and that he will be removed from all Riot-sanctioned events for the next 12 months, a real issue considering the European Valorant Champions tour has already started earlier this week. Nisay was almost immediately dropped by his organization, Beşiktaş, since he would no longer be able to compete in events, and they weren't going to be paying for an inactive player for the next year, leaving them scrambling to fill the roster slot ahead of the Challengers events they were hoping to compete in. The real twist of the story comes when you get to Nisay's side of the story, as he essentially says that he never cheated, and that he's just being bullied. He also says that Riot has yet to give him any real evidence to support the ban, saying in a response, "I'm not so stupid enough to cheat just because I am radiant in a competitive match. And when we asked them what third-party software, etc., would you show us evidence, we are under community pressure, and they said they would not. I personally think I have been wronged." Nisay even goes on to say that if cheating really was detected, they would have given him a permanent ban, which is something that actually kind of makes sense. But will Riot ever provide more information and evidence? At this point, it doesn't seem like it. And Nisay is going to have to find something else to keep himself occupied for the next year or so until he's able to compete again. Overwatch 2 not coming in 2021. During an earnings call yesterday, Blizzard announced that not only would Diablo 4 not be releasing in 2021, but Overwatch 2 also has been delayed the year as well. The numbers seemed like really good for Blizzard though, as they reported a 25% growth year over year. They made $2.2 billion in income over 2020 and listed over $6.6 billion in digital revenue, which during the pandemic kind of makes sense. Some more highlights from the revenue call include Call of Duty premium sales up 40% year over year, WoW having a great time since the release of the Shadowlands expansion, and Candy Crush. Bet you didn't know Blizzard owns Candy Crush. Candy Crush was once again the top grossing franchise in US app stores. But really, that little bit of Overwatch news is what's the most shocking out of everything they listed. No Overwatch 2 in 2021 is big news, since the Overwatch community is kind of in trouble right now. Pros aren't happy with the meta, the casual players aren't happy with the game, and it's a major title that hasn't had any real updates or support in years, and that's not an exaggeration. It's especially crazy considering there's a little professional league that lives and dies by the product that Blizzard gives to them, similar to if the NFL just stopped updating the rulebook for years. Overwatch had a really rough year last year. The pro scene was decimated by COVID, the destruction of homestand events, and the eventual bloodbath of rosters once it felt like 95% of players were released and possibly re-signed. So can Overwatch survive another year while waiting for Overwatch 2? Activision sued for ripping off Warzone Operator design. Warzone has been in the spotlight a bunch this week, both for the positive after banning over 60,000 cheaters due to a social media outcry over the tsunami of hackers, and also for the negative, due to a huge lawsuit filed on Thursday against Activision, the makers of Call of Duty Warzone. The lawsuit alleges that Mara, a popular operator, was a ripoff of a character that a writer and photographer created for a story he wrote years prior to the release of the game. Clayton Hogan, the man suing Activision, says that Activision copied Mara's design from a character he created for a short story he wrote called November Renaissance, and that the court would agree that they're almost a one-to-one likeness. In evidence, he cites that both designs use the same real-life model, Alex Zedra, as a concept design, and that Hogan had hired her 2 years prior to the release of Mara as an in-game character. And to make it even worse, Hogan is alleging that Activision even used the exact same photographer and hair professionals he had hired as well to create the original concept images, and that they had also hung up his original pictures taped to the wall during Activision's concept shoot for the reference. Activision has not yet responded or given an official comment, but it's not looking good for Activision. What do you think? Did they rip off the writer, or is it covered under inspiration? Let us know on Twitter at CheckpointXP. That's it for the news today. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. We're always posting brand new content right here on our YouTube channel. But did you know that Checkpoint XP is the only syndicated radio show in over 70 cities across the US and Canada that talks exclusively esports and video games? If you go to our website at checkpointxp.com, you can see where we're airing and if we're in a city near you. And while you're there, check out the podcast feed for the breakdown and take the esports and video game news on the go. My name's Weirdbeard, and I've spent more on esports jerseys this year so far than I have in the past 29 years.